Yakwaba na yeninko na yakwaba afisia paso so if say ye to aba wie ye say ede ne de ka ye ne wo ehia o match so na me so ho ye pa
already adom na mo mpaebo ye test this is you kroman kasa
that's right like parliament you want say offer easy kra why now you work as a lawyer no legal advocacy na well who know say go could do on no say back could be no cabos. Now you started flowing. How did you get it? Parliament you no koye who say
yo ready what my misa kwan de me nyina sa kwan so na me so me nchia me manfo na me peso so am for mutie afidie me gidi so mutie pa me chia me constituency mpanyufo ne party mpanyufo nyina ne ya de nchia kese so amakuru opim so na back to your question me gidi say we are say usisi ohu eto ho ema mere bi say and what I can say is say ye mobinu na eyade a epese ye nti yame anim no kure ni esisi ye ho kakra and said they were kind no say wo ye lawyer for adwuma na ya na ema wo beni be ka say maybe advantage kakra if you say maybe an original court wono wo argue ohwe emra kesi mienu edi adwuma parliament or your constitution no and your standing orders no at least for a lawyer there wono and say constitution no unim dada and standing orders no so say ye rules edi adwuma high court nti eno so no manie a bit easier to grasp and I think say the other one so be well I can say be a medjuma say me ye ochichi ni no so maybe a jenny penny no so eboa but no me just say the most important thing ma etimi ashase ne say if you see assume your mind assume your party na assume your constituency nti no ma ahokeka foforo ohwe your party na baby a party na original no enye no nti no adebia na ye bia nse na be fa nse ye ba kon so see emienu we always have to work harder than the usual with the number 889 yentimi yen behave as if we had the 169 we had already. It cannot be business as usual. We have to act faster, we have to act decisively, and we have to act with more urgency. Jidi say especially our cover for no yetime boy empanyu for ni chidoma ebeboa ma party no asanfa no to my afra. So it's a desire to serve our country, the desire to help our party come back to power, and ultimately the desire to serve our constituency. No, and emobieti me ye kakrai.
No say majority ndo amkesi ehunu ko me kai say on the day of inauguration I was in parliament. Now we said omu piamoa question na how do you feel mo trust na mo speaker and then the majority na mo mod kakrai? Do you feel intimidated?
Well, intimidation they know not at all. In fact numbers na dey and me just say NPP fo nyina I would say a boy who na should serve as a catalyst for us to work hard for the 2028 election. But a human parliament na dia emu who say look ba emrashe bejo fie na ya na ye de ahoden by way of or cease any adwuma and to me find say a drew decision say see make a decision bia na what do ahoden no odo so etimi do ahoden no egide ope. But aside that when it comes to debate on the floor, when it comes to discussing issues any day you know muko toe to toe na say na NDC for say omode ade na nkan nke be chichire
so be 3-1
exactly. But we fought against it. The leader Honorable Afenyomakin made very sound solid arguments. He said look, apart from the constitution and the standing orders we are also guided by precedents, and conventions. And by precedent and conventions, from 1993, I started, the two parties, they've had varying numbers. NPP once had 63 against 120 of NDC. NPP came all the way to 169 against NDC's, I think 106 or so. There was not a single time party can say they are going to determine the number of people who speak on the floor. So if there's a motion near debate here, if it's 5 on the left, there'll be 5 on the right. If it's 10 on the left, 10 on the right. And so for the NDC to now introduce this idea, say, say debate be bad. Say nipa miensa wo side the kasa ansa na kasa ba kwa. They want to stifle us completely. And I think that the speaker also did well by way of his ruling. Say, look, the parliamentary democracy now practicing. One of the sayings, women say, the majority will have their way, but minority will have our say. So
democracy is like a mokasa.
Exactly. And so you cannot take our say away from us. But for me, I was worried that the majority was pushing that angle, because when him say, "Yeah, no more refi say." Enka hoda that you
set is our president
exactly. And the tables will turn eventually. Sure. So eventually after speaker's ruling
committees na how is it say na mo chair no and also sa tresu ana bibisa bem because in the committee in the area numbers, you see something like that.
Yes, committees, so it's very sad. Committee be 17, and people for us to be at 6. Those one,
110.
Yes, they are Kenyan NDC.
They always say, "What do you
and I mean that's how it's always been.
Yeah.
Say by your strength, numbers, and see. I feel na your committees never a worker say be a Juma no be share because committees honor government policy near the ma discuss and sana about plenary. So yes, that is how it is, but hopefully drew a honor, and because the honor pete magro into there are a lot of ways that we can really make our input and be heard. The policies in baby, say maybe for want of a better word, I say so that when we are out there, let's say at the floor, at the end this no argue say but at least at the committee levels, because ultimately that is what is important. I'll say it me idea I don't ever want to come to a situation I will have to choose between my party and the country, because obviously I cannot choose party. I have to take the side of the country. And say it doesn't matter. Once at the end of the or see to me so for instance, I've always maintained about the fight against Galamsey, there should be no reason why it should be partisan.
Okay.
And look, both parties, NPP, NDC, have used the Galamsey as a weapon, as a campaign tool to fight against each other. It didn't end well. In the end, Nipa war Maimuna best of her. So I've always said that look, made them feel say I was a president, afraid the party leadership. Do maybe I see a Galamsey conference near the say VIP, and can you imagine VIP more friends Galamsey conference many MPs and DC for one. So yes, I mean, how do you fight it? I think that the very top echelon of our political parties must meet. This is what we must all agree. Let's all sing from the same playbook. Now you fight here, because if NPP is going left and NDC is going right, there's no way we can fight this menace of galamsey.
And that has been our problem.
Yes,
policy be mobile pino. You hold the direction.
And for me, that's a worrying situation. For mine, look, political party in the but we did to me so that you are mine here. And intermediate idea I've been discussing with my friends. Say, look, we should get to a common ground, especially me. I think that maybe we can fight about everything. But galamsey, look, see, this is saying so. Say a forest cover, no. It make a boom, a fight in a year. Boy, what you are currently doing.
My committee is better.
Well, that's interesting. So, while it's out there, I'm on the standing order. Subsidiary legislation committee.
Okay.
And then I am the vice chair of the Committee of Environment, Science and Technology.
Okay.
And then I'm also on the local government committee.
Committee is in a powerful power. Local government.
Well, I mean, the leadership of the party in Parliament, the party leadership in Parliament, and the main alcohol towards in the segment, where the affair of subsidiary legislation, Juma and Yeno, we share law beyond the allies and then the CIs near the end here, especially the allies, because law beyond we are act never there is a implementation part of the law, regulation. Into regulations, they come to the subsidiary legislation committee for us to look at. And into and at least with my background as a lawyer, for me, it's a way of contributing. And I am also an environmental law practitioner.
I see.
I practice environmental law, and I'm also a natural resource law, lecturer. So again, when it comes to the environment, science and technologies, it's a field I believe that I can really contribute, because that's an area I've been teaching for the past 10 years. Our environmental laws in Ghana. I've been teaching that for the past 10 years, more than 10 years, So again, so the committees, you have strength, and of course, local government is also one area I really appreciate and I understand. The leadership felt that in these committees I can function properly. So, from all these committees now.
I was for your lawyer John Darko, honorable member of Parliament for Suame and Aiding Como and I don't pay or match with so. Lawyer, what are your expectations? What's the budget here, Ebe? Tassi be a few, maybe Becamo. Mr. By now, they want to take you.
Well, in terms of budget, they say from the NDC's campaign and I guess from the State of the Nation address, in Msumbe taxes, ABF, we are expecting say e-levy will be abolished. We are expecting say betting tax will be abolished. They told us that they will bring the road toll, Kwanson and Tobuano. My only worry is that as you can see, e-levy more betting tax. From what we are gathering, omode question data mo. Inti menu there be a phone so ye di adwuma no. If data bo be den ama untumi ento data. But media, I would say the budget will be deemed successful, and I say in my view will be good if we are able to tackle the galamsey through this budget. What is the government's policy direction? How much are we investing in fighting and stopping galamsey? For me, that is one. Again, the budget will be deemed to be successful if there's a policy to arrest the depreciation of our currency. Where I said, Suame magazine ha na minnu no mo kokwan so ekoto nema ba said the nema bo cost because of the depreciation of the cedi. If there's a policy direction, I bet me I arrested the depreciation of the cedi. Now, cedi Nigeria, I'll deem the budget successful. Again, I'll deem the budget successful. Say it me abua emma say dumsa sha see unity no etimi everywhere. Me kuma say there be a magazine me tipa say there be dum light. In fact, I have filed a question to the Minister of Energy. I believe that coming days, you also about no answer our Parliament on why we have a lot of doom in the Ashanti region, especially from in my constituency.
Yeah.
So if the budget is going to address that, I'll be very happy. Again, the budget needs me addressing the food inflation, air cost. So the because when you're doing near baby, you know how bit me, won't me any share. So and also Bema Adrianebo Akofom. Na yenyina ho atoy. Look, let me tell you this. Me NPP ni kron. But me say me who budget papa. I want this government to succeed. Pese aban we no etimi succeed. Look, aban is succeed no man no ho toy nia ekoye me yenyina. But we believe in the NPP say look, even in their best efforts, ye dey nim say ye be ya de ache wo mu. And until we really want them to succeed because woman says dia and you know me so we are looking out for the budget na solve for me these issues are there are many others, but for me it may address galamsey, address the dollar problem, address food inflation, now you address it dumsa. It will be a good budget.
Our mountain debt.
Yes.
You cannot be a air cordon. Are you?
Yeah.
My peninsula the minister 60 penny bedroom. None only a good approach say presidential staffers near the other counties are the do bear 100 crore. Cutting down expenditure. Who say a bay is he on course?
Okay, good. It's early days yet to determine say they are really ready to cut down expenditure. It's really early days yet. But I say Adanko da Dre kakra no hwe presidential staffers na. In fact, let me say this. Enye nra na meba na mekwa yase ewo Suame na menim say ye presidential staffer in charge of Ashanti region kura.
Regional organizers, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where from that also?
I see.
We don't want to appoint deputy regional ministers, right? No, appoint the presidential staff. Omu pay no omu bibi omu jibi as a regional minister. And intino, I say, office or show picture be say or no dear. One ministers be and so presidential service no kambomu any omu position ne omu sika omojina e be there to say cabinet ministers. And Abuja Napa was right. For me, I really because a window dressing, I say or the dada keke. But like I said, it's early days yet. We're appointing system ministers anchor on the face of it. Obeka say you are cutting down on the budget, but those ministries, staff no. And because you see, we share. My friend say budget our particular ministry. Na say let's say 500 million Ghana cedis. Minister na in free no pay ne pex ni na okay can boma. I am not sure say let's even the worst case 100 million on that minister. 400 million said so. And you know as you see a cut costs but there has to be a very genuine way of reducing our debt. The debt stock is getting serious. Look, Oman be Fasua utimi enya usika ayeto. Na ubenya toa eye adwuma a wokru ne mu no ena mato ba. Eni nti hwe emrantie bebebe wo kru mu a yenya adwuma no. Tinkobi ye adwuma no otua ne PAYE a. Pay as you earn. Na ekọ abanfo tuoma. That would be enough money
Yeah.
You see, no, man, as a baby, you're funny pa a government sector. Government sector, no, so cry, no, no, you don't generate money. You don't generate money. And in the mefa say police for your police military omu generate skabia
tax kakra na
so what can help us to cut down the cost? And they say enema bebreba you're consuming okrum ha no ye ni ayebeye a very important me ya na ha me if you say drew baby ubewura obi fie na say obewura obi dem and I say at any point in time me dey be example yen hwe yi fie ha ya tisesi Kessben ha senye table ya bibi wa ha bia imported nye table kwa me bi kura e di free China mpo na eba so I say how can we build a country like
really you're building here
okay and so the problem is that say obi ya adwuma wa ha any otua task kakra bo man na beboa eno any ade o see me ani ku hu pa see ebehwe how is it that a country like Ghana you import gene you import tomatoes you import a bro eno ne how sikiti me say ne money pani tua omo tax enka ye nkwaje bosia because fa ne ma ejini ya bosia aban ba ya omuka bosia say do you know say as a matter of fact every week every day be omuboka bosia over 6 billion
every week be at bills on bills
and how do you reduce your debt if this is how you're going? Because in this got be and it's sad say omano ye konesa because so president and move bia bosia no do kobo to petrol to baby ayako. It's worrying situation. I'm not blaming this government, successive government. We need to do something about it. So be able to me generate sika.
What call parliamentary? When say the working. To be a team ko je bosia. I was a bosia na dey was dey na a generate income no. You no sa. Sika no so asa. So be ya dey be your source of concern we be hum pay.
Yeah, you know, say you know concern and me the many be the chief say me I always say o man ye chichi ade nye NPP ye nenya we should condemn it and this is ye nenya we should condemn it if you say kwajibosia say me fancy ade be ye ekwan ne ye totally road na it should be able to pay for itself with years. Now so no any per day contract in the man okoya onye nie nti road o say nke say ni 5 years 2 years na say tolling company or to no kra no owia look o man yan kan no quench ye ho enu kro minua it's sad we hwe the way ye bibia ye nyina obia pese oyade obia padepa enso yan kan no quench ye ho look enra na me twem me constituency me se me ne municipal chief executive oba no ne be kan sa sem ni ye pa enra awia na menam magazine and million magazine for mo tie me just mo enim be making ufri Matthias Johnson oko post office on the right mo say a car windshield a papa ni a pile ego. All right, and you remember dreams. Why are these things here? We are Sunday. We are part of the Gugun chances. And I'm asking myself, we know what has happened. Which means we'll be a DB and not a cracker. And what to new one, and what dear she no corner old one. Now, who are we? Your surgeon. It's your responsibility, sir. Sir, glasses in will be dispose them of properly. If you are by me. Adia any ebetimi aye no ne ade gu kwa ho look Saturday anwumre me fa kagetia I was sad ewura pa egu ne ayi plastics anwumre no mframa fa na epija and I'm asking myself ade ne ye I didn't know no so and I saw koto ade rubber with me fan kofi na undisposable of property.
That's been crazy on phantom.
I mean how? I mean sure me about plastics there me no me fie me were idea a kitchen we two ball and a gum. But plastic be fibia. Ye plastic na ye kota de near de go. Inti a run kitten no kitchen. It can't the gum near bonipo. So you are reusing it. It's me and son and our chair emrama a boiler for me funny man. No ma kika we ni na bomunti o betu se fi ho kra bon because I did be the good plastic kitchen ni achiche the good plastic kitchen ni achiche and sana boiler for no ba e dia ma omo akotu agu ade a wo to a unhia plastic di ntina oje wakwa akotu nsu ba ko e wo shop
bottle water yes I de
yes am plastic
me what mama ya menye
bije and winim the certain oje ya no eyi no to form no we bi nsu no so no anom I see a education when you now go from when Minister for Environment came for vet and I asked him this the question the answer no many anyeho but I think that there has to be deliberate policy as I say a bit banning the importation of plastic bags no and I say you be taxing so much it will be so expensive and I bring you plastic bag no cost shopper first no more the chair Walmart ni ade isi o moton nti o ton o mo se o sa de baby ma
ya sa
e bebo nti upa
isi video bi a o do bottle water shimwa na kwen
aba yes so that we can recycle and this look me yes o my no me ya na ha me udru baby a gata na si ewurane plastics nkwane gum
that's so impro and biodegradable
no. Yes and the sad thing is that ye the guma na ama gata na chuku ne nsu ato na yira be fine na ye fra ban enra ade a na metwam wo Suame me hu ya na ha me se sa a glass ye ya pile up egu kwan ho say ye I am sure so much trends are buying baby but let's not forget say one out ade no and now make you profit. It is your responsibility say the no you dispose them of properly also winya say pragabia na say mo sisa bolebi no ma besisa no ma disposing of we cannot
continue like that.
We cannot continue like
that. Me say acquire by share on that committee there.
Oh yes, we'll try our best and push for proper legislation too.
Ana bo yemra Suame for na e de okoye.
Yes.
Majority leader ana bo sa chi men saboso son chei.
Yes.
So onko bio. Na mo hwe mu ahun se wo e na obetimi akwakoye adwuma. The shoe na so. Last Suame for adwuma de enye izo. What you say?
Honorable Chairman Sabonsu, why ye be abwa NPP or my Ghana ne Suame.
Yeah.
Ushe na braba bonu wiase or the 28 years some Suame. That's some NPP or the Suame Ghana. Ti maybe a menya kwan bia ya na medana se ne sumpa our sumye. So we are very grateful for his service. Ukraine me call Parliament Obiti se me feel Suame. Suame, you know. The last time we share no Parliament, me catch and say, me ra office behind who say me Suame. I hear me true say, hey, I wanna be replaced. And there are sometimes NDC for no create me. Okay, me can okay, I will Suame, so yeah, no wonder. And it's a power, and I think the longevity helped him to cement his legacy in Parliament. Why dear? Is a big shoe. I see that, and so there's a lot of expectation on me. And minim say nyamiadum and nimunyina mumpaibo and my church and support gradually will fill the shoes. But look, I don't think say I'm there to fill the shoe of anybody because you see, a Germany acquire. Nyamiadom Iran wa any day no woko. It was say I have to chart my own path.
Sure.
The media me so me de beboa me constituency no. We've had great presidents after them no. People probably never thought that there would be greater presidents, and we've always tried to exceed each other. Look, Bible cry saying here, it says oh we so it's me ma wakra no. And we must always aim higher. I don't think that like you said, to fill the shoe into a achievements and standard, we should be able to go higher and above, leave a bigger and better legacy after our term. Me say, Brabia, Minianum, so I'm forward, but Mamma said, Mensum woman, Mensum movie, and I'm a Cotinefia. I should be able to look back and be proud of what I've done. And I believe, say, I say, my conscience, my hope and wish that Umbiti baby, I can say, you obedi anim say yakasa mafwe or ya ne de boy constituency. That would be for me the best. Say I'll be fulfilled to hear that after my service as an MP of this constituency.
Honorable said okay. So I'm for here's the automobile industry how a potential area. You wait to me I be Ghana and how do you
I mean in fact, when my debate on the SONA, one of the issues I wanted to describe, I was actually timed out, but that was one of the things I was going to address. But I already have a statement which I'll present to Parliament in due course. It's already been submitted to the Speaker for me to read that statement. Suame magazine. I am worried. I'm worried for my constituency in the sense that baby a yani padodo na including nyina ya adwuma hoda enye adwani di ewo magazine, but the magazine nyina nim no the hot area Sevier is becoming a pale shadow of itself as a lusu the allure a lusu adia kura no mu no. There are so many issues, but one of them media the invention of electric vehicles, because I guess maybe about 60 to 70% of Ejuma magazine engine and you have a situation where this engine is going to be phased off. Now a brabia the electric vehicle babia no menu no mo ye gasket ho adwuma o mo ye pump ho adwuma o mo ye rings ho adwuma o mo ye the piston, the combustion engine. They are losing their job. So how are we going about it? So I have a statement which I'll read in Parliament, but for me my suggestion is that look, yes, the world seems to be moving there. We shouldn't be too quick, even though it's something of which we eventually come. We must, as much as possible, exploit what we have right now. And for me, it leaves even the oil and gas industry. We have oil. You should be able to use the oil. You should be able to get people who maintain and even continue to use this combustion energy vehicle for a long time to come. But also in doing that, we must prepare for the eventuality. So EV vehicles to become the order of the day. How do we train our people? My papa will be already 50 years, 60 years. I feel now could train on how to fix electric vehicles. And electric vehicles, it's an engine into battery. It's a juma a be year free. So for me, it's a worrying situation. I believe, sir, many a minu about Kwana or magazine who do common maybe. Or say maybe you can say be a car crana. We have to get to a point that you better take parts of vehicles near you say near no chroma.
That's the way to go.
Look, I didn't know if I say even bolts and nuts. I didn't know a beer. It's a rim crana. You ain't pay a group of people a bit train room say look, you're rim. You can imagine say it is I say you import rim beer from anywhere in the world. With the modi car nearby, you be making sure say you be rim maybe you soon chrome.
What I can start to cry with bonnet and fender.
Exactly.
It's something we can
easily do.
Fabricate simply.
So that is where I'm going to ask my people to let's begin to look at that. So the because you know it reduces our import burden in 8 million or your vice our magazine engineer
Kessben
or shop our chronom. He's doing so well.
Okay.
And no, I can say it's a vice. Yeah, this share a machine shape na ye channel with the addition with the addition of a try a holding no try be imported. No ye be Ghana ha Look, he was telling me that no can wait me they solve most of our problems. The demand is so high. Onu ye be bit me we here see a bebo no na we expanding the company say the be a big import because it's sad say be import. And nema aye no krom ha ya you see here there be a chance to be kwa import aba.
Aben bia ba waka say yente so me anye enema no ha. Ezo be ya ontimi nya o na import bill no akwa na.
We really need to do something about it. Meaning ya nya o man no. I'm afraid for our country, and especially
then our food day. You spend $2 billion the credit.
How?
On a walk with
Oh yes.
Oh driver, how do you feel? Or how do you feel?
How is it that we are unable to farm 24 hours and across every day of the month?
Yeah.
Now, Oshe say in Sutobre ni besni trema inuanum esim omuti wa twense nsu to besa samba. Oko abrochi Canada from October, November, December, January, February, March, April. All right. Won't mean Adrian. Won't mean
because of the snow.
Because of the snow and now it is summertime. 5 months. No. Won't mean the Adrian. A tomb be at the bar abontina. I didn't need the whole year. Every day of the year.
With me, dear. See, moment what say. You're not short period of farming. No.
So something must be wrong with us. And I think that look, even though the political leadership should be held to a higher account, any panels so no. Meaning say we person okoye farming we here asasi we here moa kakra aban mrem but any pompe so mu yes adwuma ne moa wo mu enta wo mu encourage wo mu na obi ka so e farm akra na esre no. You know, but that shouldn't be the case. It's me ya
Kewdi.
Over. Yeah, trust home.
Wo be busa.
Some day baby ho. What busa be 1 or 2 be. Na ye koye ni. So aka bebre dey fan in pesua so but I want us to look at Ghana holistically. Nneema I also Ghana ye waka Suame de ene nkro baba Ghana as a nation and then we see timi ya we see timi gina brani yedikaka say ene yenko IMF yen depending on foreign donors na say for be koba ni ase bua besim ni asan abayachi. What do we need to do as a nation ememe yetimi gina ama yankase ho say ene ye gina independent ya de ho ankasa.
I think the solution is not so complicated at all, and I believe that every politician in him, this president knows it, and I believe that Darko also knew it. Look, eat what you produce. It's as simple, and produce what you eat.
Sure.
Look, say no fapema. There's nothing we cannot do in this world.
So what has been the problem? You see,
yes,
half of the solution is given.
Yes. So, but you see, a political will. You know, say if we are sinners, the one question we are sibimu under the World Trade Agreement. And you know, my friend said a bamwa. You mean I say, you ban the importation of rice. You can see, just internally, but because of Okota, won't make us woman and Okota. But any eye to me, a year who says, we don't need it. Then you'll be to me for so.
But me say former Greek minister Kuton said, no more quota. So that you can't bring it in quantity.
But you see, so the downside is this. Say, would they, if I say 10 bags and ever, or money here 20 bags. 20 bags, no, 10, the deficit, no. A bed yen yashim, and into no say produce no ha. And is a produce no ha. Nasa me fan say after maybe after 2 years it may produce 12, 13, 14. Yeah, my import to 10 deal. No importation will be reduced to 5. So bibia no. Because the ama all these other countries are progressing. Bibia proudly made in England, proudly made in the USA. Come see a toe, my dear. Because you know what? Anytime be a better microphone way, and I say shirt a say and ampa boy if you bridge ya create employment
amobi
could be na aye any akoto any adiaba
sure
see ye no ha let's see toy dia the same way no ya create employment no ha it nipa bebre nya adwuma ha no is because for instance obi ya mpaboa a ye nto inti first we the nipa 5 na ye adwuma we ya ye nto na fi we reduce nipa number 2 I create an employment so see to me a consuming near ma ye here wo krum ha no ye produce dia we will create a lot of employment. Now we create employment, like I said, we pay as you earn, your taxes. Taxes never about betting the BI coin. Because otherwise, if you see a Kumasi near Accra coin, you need sika debate because or 2 January, you did 3 police, doctors, nurses, or see a coin, net or say a Kwajibusia. O Kwajibusia no so a whole conditionalities are not actual. We need to start from somewhere. I believe we need to start from somewhere. Maybe this government with the overwhelming endorsement on betting, I say, so me a well empower. I say, you know what? Let's do something. Look, me, I think that say a be a bar. I'll say, one area. Say me pese it be a hand corner me bomber. You say me bomber what it. So I say,
to me, yeah, no yeah. I think it's okay. No be bad. That has been our problem.
Is it media for me the solution to our problems? We produce what we eat and we eat what we produce. As simple as that.
Right. I'm going to say, budget in the baby. Yeah,
definitely. I'll be available even on phone or when I come to class. We can always discuss it.
The what's the chat with the jar? Your chief for this Suame for man for he na they say.
Yo, abushan for me they make and they say, "Yonko swa mompaye emma omai no, monta machi mompaye so mami Suame for." And I always say, even the John Dramani Mahama mompaye mano. Say the beya say or adwempa and I always insist say na adwempa awma omano intimi emrem adwembone dia nyame emanem pare but adwempa bi o mo maga ne mo mpa ema no say the beya obetimi implement na aboa ama omaye tumpom die nyina ye wa no say omano edi ya nyina ebedi na menuanu NPP for so die de bia Michelle Madame can say, "Mammy, Abamumu, DSC, Jesse Bean Seed, NDC for no number more parliaments, just 14 seats more than what we had. When we had 169, they have 188, just 14 more seats. And so it's no more to me about from where they were, met me a do baby, yes, so me, but Yemma. You who say you see party nonsense.
That's right.
I've seen so many people talking about presidential primaries now. When I'm a pen. Look, me the message will be a fine on trench. If you are going to war with the horse, that's it. The horse is sicker. Whoever sits on the horse will lose.
Okay. Very deep.
Yes, the most important thing is that the horse is strong and alive. No. What do you beat na horse no so ubet me de akodi nkunu so menuan people when you try na yam hihye your party ni ye you see the why do you show go na who say you see hihye ya hihye party ni nyina den ma obi amfa the so called interest enye ne main focus as obi ye bibia na or dream be a particular person be officer a bebo na be presidential candidate why yam build a party no okay committee report no ba yenhwe na recommendation na wo mu no yam fanya adwuma na megiri se ye ne sa party no a strong party we can definitely come back in 2028. There's no question in my mind say yet to 20 mayor which me about power see eno na medije menuanu yankopon onhira obi
also Lawyer John Darko, Honorable Member of Parliament for Suame. We wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Right. That's it.